Man, there was quite the upset that went down this weekend. In my preview, I did say we shouldn't sleep on Zhang. And you know what? He landed some big shots on Joe Joyce, ended up messing up his eye and getting the TKO victory. If you took him on the money line, boy, oh boy, did you win some money. I did sprinkle on Joyce, losing that fight to Zhang. But man, this was a fight where before it, Bryan, people were talking about the fact that he was top 5 heavyweight.
We were, and we
No,
also
he was not on my list.
no. I'm saying we were talking about the possibility of him being there. He was not on my list either because he wasn't better and isn't better than Andy Ruiz, who's probably 5th, for example, and definitely not better than Wilder and Joshua and etc.
Yeah.
But Fury, Usyk, all of whom we'll talk about in a little bit. But as it pertains to Zhilei Zhang and Joe Joyce, we both said sprinkle on Zhang. The odds were too good. It was plus 1100, which I did. I sprinkled on him plus 1100 to win by knockout and ended up winning a little bit of bread there. And I wish I put more on it, quite frankly, because of how dominant he was. I don't know if Joe Joyce won a round in that fight in the UK. And Zhang is now, he's got an interim title. And I think that, and I was looking through sort of the contenders that he could fight next and whatever the case may be. Of course, you know, the actual WBO champion is Oleksandr Usyk. So maybe he has to fight Usyk at some point.
He said he wants Fury or Usyk. That's what he said.
Yeah. But because it looks like Usyk is going to fight Daniel Dubois, I would love to see Zhang versus Andy Ruiz or somebody like that. That would be a banger, right? Like, even if it's Luis Ortiz, I don't know what he's been doing lately. But Frank Sanchez just fought like some dude with like 12 losses on the last card. Like, it wasn't advertised at all. It's literally before the broadcast. It's like, wait, Frank Sanchez is on this card? Somebody like that would be interesting. But yo, he's a problem. He's got hands and he's fast, and evidently he's got a chin. Like, this dude is a problem in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And speaking of heavyweights, we just got some more news, so let's get into that. All right, so this was a tweet that Michael Benson put out the other day. He said Eddie Hearn has declared that reps in the Middle East want to stage Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk and Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder on the same night in December in a mega deal that he believes could be worth up to $4 million in fighter purses if it gets made.
Wait, was it 400 or
400 million?
Yeah. $400 million.
So what are your thoughts on this, and do you see it going down? Also, keep in mind, Tyson Fury also posted on his IG that the rumors of this is true, that it's most likely to go down. Well, it's rumored to be in discussions. So it's a possibility that this could very well go down. This would be absolutely massive to happen in December. These are two fights that I think a lot of people want to see. Bryan, what are your thoughts on this?
We ain't going to get this shit. This shit is not happening. I mean, look, I hope so. And, you know, people have their feelings about Middle Eastern money and where it comes from. But again, as people on this side of the world, I don't think we can judge because all money is probably dirty, honestly, if we're going to get into it. IFL TV, I think, had a lot of this in terms of the original reporting. So shout out to them. And Malik Scott, Deontay Wilder's trainer, who has been training him, I believe, since the last Tyson Fury loss, confirmed that these are true. Tyson Fury came out and said that he's basically confirming that these rumors are, quote, absolute BS, according to his Instagram. And then Alex Krasuk, who we talked about on the show before, Oleksandr Usyk's promoter, came out and said he's shitting his pants again, which presumably is about Tyson Fury. So that's where we're at in terms of this potential heavyweight tournament. Now, this is interesting because I actually posted a video on my YouTube late last year, and this was around the time Deontay Wilder had already defeated Robert Helenius, and there were talks about Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury fighting each other. And I think that as it pertains to the heavyweight division, you can make a 4-man tournament if you can get everyone to agree promotionally on things very easily, which that's the hard part. You could make an 8-man tournament because there are good enough heavyweights to stretch this to 8
Yeah.
people. I don't think you could do that in every weight class. Like, I don't think an 8-man welterweight tournament would be that interesting because the first set of bouts would probably mostly be cupcake bouts, as we would say in the States, referring to like college sports blowouts. I think that this would be awesome if it happens. But Shantelle, we've been watching boxing for how long? We've been covering boxing for several years, and it's like this sounds too far fetched and too good to be true. Like
Yeah.
it would literally be one of the biggest things in boxing history for this to come together, which is why I don't think it's going to come together.
Yeah, I think the money thing could be a little bit of a pull. Like $400 million is a lot of money that I think all these guys would get a massive payday. And after all of this, they probably wouldn't ever have to, like, they could just sail off into the sunset. And
Sure.
that would be their careers, right? Because this would be probably, like you said, one of the biggest nights in boxing history if it ever went down. But the thing about it is, there's been so much back and forth with all four of these guys that we haven't been able to get these fights. Do I think they're all four of them are going to fight in December on one card? No, but I think there's conversation because there's people in the Middle East that got some paper and they want to throw it down and make this happen. And so it is a possibility, but to get everyone to agree and to also get all the networks to agree too, that's where issues happen, right? Boxing politics gets in the way. So that's the thing with boxing politics. We never want to get the fights that we actually want to see. Luckily, lately, though, there's been some fights that are getting made that we are able to see. But out of those two fights, which one do you want to see more? Anthony Joshua and Wilder or Usyk and Fury?
Would those be the fights? It wouldn't
Yep.
be. It wouldn't be. Okay. I
No, it would
mean,
be Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk and Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. But if it was a tournament, obviously it'd be a little bit different.
yeah.
But that's what Michael Benson had tweeted.
Yeah, that actually makes sense because one of them is for undisputed and the other one's for a top contender. And then yeah, this is kind of like when Chris Jericho won the undisputed WWF at the time title, late 2001. Sorry for the wrestling reference. So I think look, I'm wearing a Becky Lynch hoodie, so it is what it is. I mean, I think I would personally want to see both of them is the correct answer, but I've been wanting to see, and while I'll acknowledge that this isn't a bigger fight, between the two, I think Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, because I've been looking forward to it since 2018.
Yeah.
The negotiations were going on for that fight, broke off, started up again, broke off. And I'm in a press conference where, again, Lou DiBella is pulling up emails uh, that they sent to Eddie Hearn because Eddie Hearn was saying that they didn't send anything to them and they're trying to make this fight together. And Lou DiBella, who we've had on the show, he doesn't give a shit. So
Yeah.
like he just wants to make fights. He doesn't care about anything else. As it pertains to boxing right now. But yeah, I think that's the fight I would look forward to the most. There's a world where I can argue that it's a bigger fight despite not being for any title, just because of the names and just
Yeah.
it's something that's been discussed for a very long time. Whereas and it feels like a fight that's been slipping and may slip away entirely. Whereas Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk, while negotiations fell through for their fight to come this month, actually, and then in May, I think that that's still a fight we'll get at some point. Like, I feel good enough about that fight just happening at some point. But Tyson Fury is kind of the wild card here, where it's like, does he really want to play ball? And the reason why this heavyweight tournament is also interesting is because all of these guys are in their 30s, and I think if we're being honest with ourselves, they're all going to be done within the next 5 years of pro boxing.
Maybe before then.
Yeah. Within the
Maybe.
next 5, but probably before then.
Yeah, because I mean, there was even talk that Anthony Joshua said if he was going to lose his previous fight, he might as well retire.
Mhm.
So there's been talks of retirement. Tyson Fury already retired once.
Yeah.
You know what I
You could
mean?
say all of these guys, save for maybe Usyk, all of these guys are
Yeah.
probably one loss away from retiring, from just being like, whatever.
Yeah, and I think for me too, I agree with you. I wouldn't necessarily say that Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua is the bigger fight. They're both massive fights. I think it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for the undisputed match at heavyweight, yeah, that's the bigger fight. But if you're looking for an all-out banger, a war that is supposed to have had happened years ago, then that's Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Are we getting it when they were in their prime, as I guess you could kind of say? Not really. I mean, Anthony Joshua is still young, but it's not the same Anthony Joshua that we've seen in the past. And
He ain't
that's
that young
another thing.
either.
No, he's definitely not. But here's the thing, though, that's really interesting about it is that we saw Anthony Joshua be a little bit cautious in his last fight, but that's also because he's under Derek James. And so I think when we see Anthony Joshua's next fight, we're going to see the Anthony Joshua that is a little bit more put together. So that's the only thing I'm going to say about that. And yeah, if this actually does go down in December, it's going to be absolutely massive. One of the biggest nights in boxing history, like Bryan said. But will it happen, or are boxing politics going to get in the way as they usually do? Who knows? Here at TheMandatory, we want to know your thoughts. Also, if you like the content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're rocking with us on YouTube, if you're listening to us on the audio version, make sure to, you have like a quick minute or so, which you probably do, right?
Yeah,
Give
hopefully.
us 5 stars or write a review or something like that. That helps the show grow. And also follow us on our social media channels at TheMandatory TKO. We're there on Twitter, IG, TikTok. And shout out to everyone who's already been rocking with us. Also, Bryan, any last thoughts on any of the heavyweight stuff?
I don't think it happens. But if it did, I do feel like anybody can sort of win it because it's going to be that competitive. I think if you're setting odds, Tyson Fury is probably going to be the slight favorite, where he's like maybe plus 180. Usyk is probably plus 230, 240. And then I think Deontay Wilder is going to come after in the plus like 400s or something like that. And then Anthony Joshua will be the guy that's like 1,000. I think he's going to be the underdog because I think he's the guy.
I would put money on AJ though. Like
I
if
would not. I absolutely would not.
I would put money on him against, like, I think, after what we saw, like, I want to see what he looks like against, because there's talk that he's going to fight Dillian White in July.
I just
there's talk about him.
Eddie Hearns already said he's probably not gonna, because that was the plan. That was the plan initially. It was a 3-fight. There's a 3-fight plan for 2023. Which, here's another thing you can learn. The casuals who listen to the show, who I've been speaking to, and they've said that we've actually helped be educational here, which is what we're trying to do, not just for diehards, but for everybody, right?
Yeah.
The casuals here learn that when a top fighter says they plan on fighting 3 times in a year, you'll be lucky to see them once, honestly. Maybe twice.
Unless it's like Canelo or something like that.
Yeah, like dudes don't really fight 3 times a year anymore, which sucks. Those top flight dudes, which sucks. Because the way they're paid, they're not really incentivized to do so. But shit, I mean, a lot of guys only fight once a year now, which is not great for the sport. But the point is that Anthony Joshua originally had a 3-fight plan. Eddie Hearn did for Anthony Joshua, at least. April, July, December. Jermaine Franklin, Dillian White, and then, a Wilder, Fury, or, maybe another Usyk bout, like one of those big bouts, right, that we're talking about. Now, apparently, he's not going to be seen again until December. Dillian White was at Joe Joyce's fight, said that he would fight Joe Joyce next. I'm sure he would now after watching that, but he said it before the fight because we all expected Joe Joyce to win. Ultimately, I don't think this happens, but I would favor Tyson Fury if it did. I also would probably I would definitely put probably a couple dollars on Oleksandr Usyk, and I would definitely sprinkle on Deontay Wilder because he has that finishing ability. But yeah, quick episode today because we have a lot of shit to talk about this week as it pertains to this huge Gervonta Davis Ryan Garcia fight. So if you're listening to this and you're like, that was only one segment, it was 15 minutes. We have a lot more coming, because the potential fight of the year is going to be coming up this weekend, and we're going to break down the shit out of it. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and last thing, if we want to know actually who you would take in this tournament between these 4 guys, let us know. Drop some comments below. Gonna roll with Tyson Fury. I think in the end it would be him and Oleksandr Usyk, to be real with you. And those guys are pretty much hopefully
unless they fight each other first, like you said, though. Unless
if they fight each other first, then they're obviously going to equal each other out. But
Fury Wilder 4.
Oh my god, I don't know if I want to see that. I mean, I think it would be entertaining. Would you want to see that again?
No, but like if Wilder won and Fury won, then it'd be like, all right, like I guess we have to. But that's why I kind of want it to be. I wanted it to be Wilder versus Usyk and Fury versus Joshua. That should be the matchup. Those should be the matchups.
But then what? Like the 2 losers fight for like Anthony Joshua and then Deontay Wilder, then bang it out. Like no, like I give
Wilder a chance against Usyk.
I think Usyk's gonna move around the ring so much, and Deontay Wilder is gonna be freaking gassed by like the
Probably,
later rounds. You know what I mean?
probably,
He won't be.
but
He has a puncher's chance. It's just like, yo, I don't know, man. Usyk, he's just the dude's so elusive, man. He's so quick on his feet,
sure.
and I just think that Wilder's been through wars at this point where it's like
Yeah.
he's taken a lot to his body more than Usyk has. And that's got to at least play out on how long your life is in boxing, right?
I agree.
That's what I personally think. I think he has a chance, but I would roll with Usyk.
No, me,
Um,
me too. But I would like the odds would be, I think, closer than people realize, because people would be like, look, man, like if there's any dude you can't count out because of that one punch. And Usyk is not, he's not a big heavyweight. Like you can kind of talk yourself into shit. Wilder by knockout's actually feasible here if you can catch him clean. One big shot within those 12 rounds. I wouldn't favor it, but I'd probably sprinkle on it. So I would love for this heavyweight tournament to happen, but come on, we know how boxing business is.
exactly. But like I said, make sure to follow us at TheMandatory TKO and leave some comments below.